yeah, I mean, it's so easy to get caught up in the fast pace of life and in the trying to get to somewhere and tick all the boxes and keep going. And I really appreciated learning that our brain has evolved for survival rather than for happiness. That makes so much sense. That so much of what happens in my mind is that before I know it, if I'm just sitting not really doing anything, that I either go to the past or the future, and that usually it's not enjoying what went well in the past or what I loved or looking forward to the future, but it's like going over that thing that I didn't do or I did wrong, or the kind of the things that were difficult in the past that I regret in some ways, and what I fear or worry about in the future, or what isn't so good about right now. And actually, I mean, there may be those things, but also there might be, we might miss out on the opportunity for more joy and more wellness by widening our views, so to not just focus in on that survival thing of trying to stay away from threat, but actually seeing what else is true. Like, yes, I messed up this thing yesterday, and in this moment the birds are singing and the sun is shining and the church bells are ringing, and more is true than just that one thing that wasn't ideal. And so having a little kind of mindfulness practice, I mean, we can do general mindfulness practice, which in the tradition that I've been learning in would be noticing what is happening while it's happening, no matter what it is. But actually, no matter what it is, that's quite wide, and that includes a whole lot of unpleasant things usually. I mean, usually it's a mix of things. So we can start to practice mindfulness, and I think having someone who supports with that, someone who knows the territory, rather than like doing an app and then doing it for a week or two and then stopping and thinking you failed at it. Actually doing it together with a person, I really recommend that. So that's one thing, but also if we could just notice the good stuff a little bit more, then that in itself could really help. So Rick Hanson, who's a neuropsychologist, he developed this little practice called taking in the good, where you bring your attention to something good, either in this moment or something from the past, or you could do it with something in the future that you think you might enjoy, and then he talks about turning it from a positive fact into a positive experience. So not just having like a nice moment and then going on to but what am I doing tomorrow and what might go wrong there, but actually, I'm here and this is quite nice to be here. So how could I just pause with that niceness? So yeah, we can do that either in the moment and really kind of drink in the goodness. On his website he has this sentence of to the banquet of life bring a big spoon, like really take it in, that goodness. So yeah, it can be in the moment, or it can be at the end of the day when you like look back and spend a bit of time relishing the goodness. But yeah, it makes a difference. So for the practice of taking in the good, let's start with sitting in a comfortable way, as comfortable as is available in this moment. And maybe inviting shoulders to drop a little and muscles of the face to soften. Just letting ourselves land here, in this moment, in this place. And we may notice as we sit here the sensations in the body, as well as thoughts and feelings that might be here. And also we could become curious about the flow of breathing. Ever present, steady ebb and flow. Maybe there's even a sense of coming home to the breath, just as it is. And then from here, we could turn our attention either to something that feels neutral or even good in this moment, or we could bring to mind something recently that happened, a moment where you felt maybe well in some way, or where you really enjoyed something. And it doesn't need to be anything spectacular. It can be quite an ordinary goodness, maybe a moment with a friend, or a moment of being in a beautiful place. And if something that you could categorize as something really good, if that feels a bit out of reach, then also there's real goodness in neutrality too. So, for example, not having a toothache in this moment is a wonderful thing that I could use for letting my attention be with in this moment. So letting your attention be drawn to something neutral or good now or recent. And this is the first stage, this is the noticing. And then from here we could see how we might turn a positive fact into a positive experience. And we can do that by lingering for a little while with this goodness. So letting our attention rest with what you're enjoying. Letting the experience come to life. Maybe remembering details of what you felt or heard or saw. And if the mind does its habitual thing of traveling to the past or the future, and maybe to things that aren't so good or didn't go right, we can just notice that, and then coming back to being present here with this goodness. Noticing how it feels in the body to be with this pleasant experience, this goodness, And so, as well as noticing and lingering, we could also relish it. What if we could really soak it in like the spring sunshine? As if it could soak into the marrow of your bones, and it fills your being. And in this way it really gets stored in your implicit memory. And of course we could bring other things to mind too. We could maybe think of good things in your life at this time, or people that you appreciate. Maybe things about yourself that are worth noticing. And so we can do this practice for as long as we wish. And I recommend doing it regularly. And then taking this goodness with us into the rest of our day.